Alrighty. Welcome, Ugly Mug marketing followers. My name is Hannah Acosta. I'm the social media manager here at Ugly Mug Marketing. And today we have a special guest from our friends at CLEDA, the Central Louisiana Economic Development Alliance. We have Larkin Simpson here with us today. And we just want to talk to you about what they've been working on at CLEDA, how COVID-19 has impacted the way that they're doing business, and just kind of chat and learn a little bit more about CLEDA. So welcome, Larkin.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Larkin, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself and then kind of go straight into what CLEDA does and the importance of having an organization like CLEDA in our community in Central Louisiana.
Sure. So I've been here, my wife and I have been here about 3 years in Central Louisiana and Alexandria. We came from Mississippi, where I was actually running a Chamber of Commerce over there for about 8 years. And then I've been in the community development, economic development world for probably the last 12 to 14 years, all over the state of Mississippi, heavily invested in economies in different states throughout the Southeast, part of several national organizations that do economic development, community development throughout the Southeast, focus on growing communities and what we do. And so that kind of talks about a little bit about what CLEDA is. We are a regional economic development organization. And so what that means is there are 8 regions throughout the state where you have these multi-parish groups who try to encourage job growth, wealth creation, and attract companies into the parishes they serve. So here in Central Louisiana, CLEDA, we serve 10 parishes. So we go all the way from Vidalia and Concordia Parish over to Leesville and Vernon Parish. We go up to Natchitoches and then down to Allen Parish. So we kind of cover that central swath of Central Louisiana. So when I talk about CLEDA, a lot of times I really kind of put it into 4 buckets. So, or 4 profiles of what we do. So we have the traditional economic development, smokestack chasing kind of thing, recruitment. That's primarily where our focus is: recruitment of companies, expansion of existing companies, and then just stability of companies so that they stay here and we retain them. We also do a lot with food and farming. That can be everything from working with farmers to understand how they can see their small farm, half-acre farm as a business. So it's got a lot of entrepreneurship in it and a lot of business skills in it. We do a lot of things with food policy so that communities understand better ways to get fresh food from farmers, local sourced foods into their community and to their residents, to their constituents. We do a lot with our farmers market programs throughout Central Louisiana, have a very big market presence in Alexandria, and do a lot with the SNAP benefits for farmers market programs. We also do entrepreneurship. Traditional entrepreneurship is a big thing for us. Do coaching of entrepreneurs, everything from helping them with their business plans to helping them grow their business to trade and selling outside of the region. One of the things that we focus a little bit differently is we don't work with just any business. You have to have the majority of your sales outside of that 10 parish region. You can sell within Louisiana, but we want most of your sales to be outside of our 10 parish region so that you're bringing money back into our area. You're bringing new money back into our area, not just turning over money that's already in the economy. And then the last thing we kind of do is work on educational systems and workforce development. So we have very strong partners with all of the higher education institutions throughout Central Louisiana, all the colleges, community colleges, really with our K-12 partners, with our friends at the Orchard Foundation and the Rapides Foundation. And we do things to help make sure we have a strong workforce so that our manufacturing companies, our industries, our people who are in Central Louisiana have access to education or skills training or whatever they need so that they can get better jobs, better paying jobs, and they can really help out their family and grow their family.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know CLEDA does a lot with like, as you said, businesses of all shapes and sizes, you know, companies as big as Procter & Gamble, which has been in Alexandria for a number of years, companies like Cleco and Crest Industries, all the way down to, you know, those smaller entrepreneur startup businesses that are either have started in the last year or so, or just getting started, or who have been in our community for the last 10 years or so. And so that's really awesome. CLEDA is truly a resource for all of those people. There are people with just loads of knowledge at CLEDA who can help you grow your business, whether that be a farm or a pizza joint or whatever it may be. Kind of want to dive into how COVID has specifically impacted the way that y'all are doing work at CLEDA. As I can see, you are not working in the office at CLEDA. So how has this changed the dynamic for you personally, but also for interactions with the team?
Okay, so what I primarily focus on is that large industry recruiting. So when I go out and I say I'm going to recruit a business, for me and for my team, we look at that as 100 employees and up. So we're primarily looking at manufacturing, we're looking at forest products, we're looking at several industries that are major employers in our area. And so spend most of my time, a lot of my time on the road. I'm either in the car going to Baton Rouge or somewhere in state, or I'm in an airport. And so for us, and for me, working remotely has not been that difficult. Usually I'm set up in an airport. I keep everything that I have in my office, I have in my backpack. So I can work anywhere just about. And so for us and our team, a lot of our team works that way, and we have a very fluid schedule as it is, where if somebody needs to go visit with a client, or needs to go to one of the different parishes, or needs to work remotely or whatever, our system and our team usually works that way. What's been different about this for us is that we just moved into a new office, and it's an open office concept. And one of the things that we have really gotten into a groove of doing and really liked doing is you gather and you meet. You just pop in and have conversations, and that spurs collaboration and different things, which has been really good. You don't get that as much from a Zoom meeting. Nothing wrong with Zoom meetings or any other platform, but you just don't get that personal interaction. It's great to see people and it's great to look at people, but you can't just randomly have that conversation over a text or over an email or even a face-to-face video call. And so that's the big thing that's hurt us. I would say it's not changed our business and what we do, it's changed how we do it.
Yeah, for sure. Our office, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Ugly Mug marketing office, our office is also very much an open space concept. And so it's very easy for me to be sitting at my desk and then just look over at Hannah Broom, the other Hannah in our office, and be like, hey, I have a quick question for you on this or this, or hey, can I have you take a look at this? And like you said, you can still do those things on Zoom, but it's more like, hey, at this certain time, can you hop on?
Right.
Or trying to, convey that same conversation over email. It's definitely really challenging. So I can definitely attest to, maybe it hasn't totally changed our business at Ugly Mug Marketing either, but certainly has changed our team dynamic a little bit. So we've been trying to do little like virtual games with each other and stuff as we're kind of leading into team meetings, just trying to have more like regular weekly calls with one another too, just so we can see each other. There are certainly people in our office who are struggling with it more than others too. I don't know if you all have this in your office, but in our office, like I'm really struggling not being around people because I'm definitely more extroverted, whereas Mara is like absolutely thriving right now working from home because she is more of an introvert. Would you say you're more introverted or extroverted?
Well, it's funny. So everybody, I get this question a lot, even outside of COVID stuff. So Rebecca and I, my wife and I both are really introverted people. When we get home, we want to be home. But both of us, and especially my job, I have to be out in the community and I have to be so extroverted and doing all the different things that I can turn that on and I can do that. But like, really, I want to go see people and I want to hang out with my friends. But for the most part, for these 2 months, it hadn't been that bad for us. It's been kind of nice just being us and being our family and spending a lot of time together.
For sure. What is one thing that and you may have just answered this, but what is one thing that you're really enjoying about working from home and being at home more right now?
Well, so we've got two young boys. I've got a 10 and a 6, and we're very active together as a family. We're big into scouts. We're big into sports. We're always doing stuff. We're always on the go, right? And so typically, during the work week or during our normal life, if you want to call it that, I'm always on the road. We've always got meetings. We've always got school things. We've got sports. We've got scouts. We've got all those different things filling up the calendar. Well, now you don't have those things. And so it's just fun getting to be us and hanging out and doing things that we don't normally do. For so long, we've talked about, we wanted to watch all the Avengers movies in order, and we wanted to see them, in a relatively short time. Well, we've always said, well, we don't have time to do that. We can't sit down for, weeks on end and do that. We've done that because of this. We've talked about going to Disney later on, and both of our boys have not had much interaction with Star Wars. And so we've sat down and we've started watching all the movies and just doing those things as a family and kind of planning out things that we want to do later on that we kind of need knowledge for. So we're taking this time to fill that knowledge void.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have been starting my venture with watching The Office from beginning to end on Netflix. So that has been my really great adventure during COVID-19 lately.
That's a good one to take on.
For sure. And then last thing, more work related, but how has COVID-19 impacted the recruitment of larger businesses and smaller businesses to the Central Louisiana area?
Well, it's funny because, with what we do with CLEDA, we get to see so many different sides of business, right? And so large manufacturing, where you would think that they're not really doing a lot right now, man, they're blowing and going. A lot of our folks are talking about hitting numbers in the first quarter in the first couple of months of this year that they would normally hit for the whole year. And then you've got our smaller businesses that really, and our retail stuff that aren't doing hardly anything, which is not good. And so, from a recruitment standpoint, it's good because a lot of the folks that we want to recruit, they're looking ahead to when we come out of this thing, whether that be the next couple of weeks or next couple of months or whatever it may be. And so they're planning ahead for, okay, where do I need to put my supply chain? Where do I need to put my logistics? Mm-hmm. If this happens again, how do we have more supplies in country rather than across the globe? And so where can I put a factory, or where can I put, specific things? And so that's been helpful for us because we're having a lot of calls. The day-to-day thing that I don't like about what we're doing right now is we're having a lot of virtual site visits, which is not good, because I've always said, and I firmly believe that if I can get somebody here on the ground in Central Louisiana, let them feel the dirt and be a part of the experience, and meet the people and eat the food and all of those things, mm-hmm. that tells such a more impactful story than trying to convey that through a virtual meeting or through a PowerPoint or something like that. It can still be done, but just not as well. Typically what we find is when people come here and they see it for themselves and they kind of get to experience it for themselves, they're more likely to make an investment. And so that's the thing that's really been taken out of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. But we're still, I would say business has kind of picked up a little bit in the number of requests that we're getting, people looking ahead, kind of planning ahead, thinking about, what's going to happen once we come out of this.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's important to note that this is going to end at some point. It's hard to tell what it's going to look like. I know here in the state of Louisiana, the governor is set to make another announcement on May 11th to kind of lay out what the reopening will look like for the state. And I know just every state is in kind of a unique situation depending on how COVID has taken over their state in and of itself. But you know, I'm really looking forward to whatever the new normal is, and being able to interact with people, being able to have those, you know, those site selectors, those people here have their boots on the ground and experiencing our community and all the goodness that it has to offer. So thank you so much, Larkin, for joining me today for this interview. Y'all, I hope this was informational for you, so you can learn a little bit more about the resource that CLEDA is for our community. I hope that if you are an entrepreneur or a farmer, that you would go visit their website. They do have some really great information, some really great people who would absolutely love to connect with you there. Larkin, Gary, Bahia, their entire team, I know I'm forgetting a few, they would absolutely love to connect with you. So go follow them on Facebook at CLEDA. They're on LinkedIn, Twitter, follow the farmers market as well. Lots of good stuff happening over at CLEDA. So thanks so much, Larkin.
Thank you, Hannah. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.